right, Mr. SimpleBiz guy, let's start the show.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning into the SimpleBiz360 podcast. My name is Jeff Mason. I'm your host on this last of our caps and t-shirt series. This is only a 5-minute podcast today, and we're going to ask some real simplified questions today for you. But if you want to follow us, you can. You can go to our home, SimpleBiz360.com. You can get connected all different which ways through there, or you can listen to the podcast on 26 or 28 audio platforms, or on YouTube or Rumble. We also have a book out, SimpleBiz360 Timeless Business Tools, on Amazon, or you can go to our website and get connected, audio, Kindle, or paperback edition. So today we're going to be coming to you today from Half Coast Studios, which we have been for all of our over 200 episodes. They do a great job here in St. Louis. If you're ever looking to record a podcast, a song, an audio book, you tap these guys. These guys are great. They've done a super job. They're in the Creve Coeur area, and they are host to another podcast that I happen to be a guest on, and it's called the St. Louis Podcast, hosted by Eric Brown and Garrett Atkins. On the day that I was in, Garrett was not there, so it was Eric and myself, and Eric really dove in to the topic that we're going to ask and talk about today, and that's processes. So why don't you just take a quick listen to what Eric had to say about processes?
And I think it goes back to us just building processes.
Yeah.
Like we have, even obviously at Vi, right? We have specific processes for all of our services. And that's where I think, obviously, as companies grow, usually they kind of run into a problem of either their processes not being in place and they have to change them. Or also potentially you get to the point of being big enough where now you're hiring people that maybe don't have that expertise that they did before. So that's where you run into companies hitting essentially like a line where they used to be great and now they're not anymore.
Now, knowing what he said, I totally agree. Processes are everything. And I hear companies over and over say, yes, we're a process-driven company, and that's great. My question to you is, where is the process centricity pointed? Are you a process-centric company for the customer, or are you a process-centric company for your own company? Or is there the ability to blend the two? So a lot of times companies set up processes that are geared toward making their companies efficient and streamlined. And in the end, it kind of sometimes transfers the workload to the customer, making the customer go through more arduous, time-consuming processes to achieve what they need to achieve, when really it's because the company created more of an easy avenue for them to do these things, and they ended up transferring the workload to the customer. Simple example. Hey, we're now going to have customers fill out a dealer application online. It'll help us process things quicker and easier. Okay, well, that strips the sales team of the opportunity to take this fillable form, fill out 85% of it, and send it to a customer and say, hey, I know you wanted to sign up with us. Here's the dealer application. I've filled out 85% of it for you. All you need to do is fill in the rest. I can't tell you how many times I've had customers in my sales career say, thank you for doing that, Jeff. These are such a pain in the neck. This really takes the time off of my plate. But when you create a program process where now you can only be done online because it's easier for the company, you've actually made it more difficult for some customers. Not all, but some. So it's little things like that. So, my question to you is, are you process driven? If you're not, just like Eric talked about, just like I am a proponent of, we suggest you become one and adopt standard operating procedures. But we suggest that you figure out a way to blend the customer and your company into this process, or to these processes. And if you have to point in one direction, we say point to the customer. So thank you so much for tuning in today with us. We are going to leave you with a song that's really kind of cool. It's called A Different Drum. And it's Linda Ronstadt and the Stone Ponies. We're dipping back to 1967. And you know what? Just beat to a different drum. Customers want that. They don't want the same old, same old. They want a company that is customer-centric, that beats to that drum, and it looks and feels a little different than those company-centric companies. We will see you in 168 hours.